So I was one of the biggest non-caring people in high school, and I didn't care what happened, what I did, or how anybody felt. I just rolled with it. I had a friend I had known since about first grade, and we were really close and hung out after school, or we would skip class together. And he was one of my closest friends, and he was close with my ex-boyfriend at the time. We would constantly joke about serial killers and kidnapping because that's the kind of stuff we were into, like the crime shows. And my ex-boyfriend was also into it. My ex was really freaking protective, and I had a habit of walking outside with my phone in hand, and I was constantly looking down and scrolling through stuff, and I had my headphones in. So I wasn't paying attention to anything around me. I just didn't care about the world. I accidentally walked into the street a few times and almost got hit by a car. My street was very busy. My ex would always say that one day I would be kidnapped or hurt because I was never aware of my surroundings. And I'll be honest, I relied on people to keep me safe most of the time, or when I was alone, I thought I was invincible. I was also a little high
It's the one and only Digo Double G.
most of the time. One day, my friend that I had known since first grade had asked me to hang out by the beach. It was really cold that day. It was winter time, and I thought we were just going to chill and listen to music because we both like the cold anyway. The beach where I lived had like this overgrown like grass area, and people would park their cars illegally there and go smoking there because the cops didn't really care. So, and people went there to have like really special kind of fun, if you know what I mean.
I'm about to get some sex.
So, of course, I had my music in and I was looking down the whole time. My friend would talk to me and I would be like, "What? Huh? What are you talking about?" Because I was just not paying attention. And I was also posting snaps and stuff like that because at the time me and my ex had gotten into an argument and I wanted to annoy him because I had been dodging him for like a few days after it.
Petty. Petty.
When we got to the beach, we spent some time there listening to music and having fun. And of course, sometimes I would ignore him and he would get mad. And we were ready to leave. So when we left, we started walking again through the overgrown area like usual because that was like our spot to go through because it was a shortcut pretty much to go down the street and then go to my house. And there was a car there that wasn't there before, but honestly, I didn't really care to pay much attention to it because cars parked there all the time. So I kept walking and I plugged my headphones in and I was scrolling through Instagram and I was checking my story to see if he had seen it. And my friend screamed my name and it sounded like bloody murder, like he was getting killed. So before I could turn around, these two people, and I remember them grabbing me, closing my eyes, like putting their hands over my eyes and mouth, and then the other one grabbing my leg and throwing me into the trunk and then like closing it right away. I am extremely prone to panic attacks, so I was breathing like really heavy and I was like banging on the top of the thing and I felt like I had an elephant on my chest. And it didn't help that I had dropped my phone while I was trying to squirm around and trying to get away from them. So I tried to calm down as best as I could. I had so many thoughts going through my head, and honestly, I felt and thought I was going to die. So I was like trying to calm down. And I know that cars have like this thing that you pull to like open the trunk in case of emergency, but I was so terrified that I wasn't thinking clearly enough. I spent what felt like hours in the back of the trunk, panicking, then calming down, panicking, and then calming down. But it was really like about 10-15 minutes, maybe 20. The car moved like once, like drove like up a bit, but then stopped. And from what I remember, I could hear talking, but it was like very little talking and quiet and a lot of shushing. So I was already calm enough. I was trying to think of ways to get out of it. Again, still, I didn't remember that there was something to open the trunk. Usually the cars have it, the newer ones, I think. But then the trunk, I heard the click of the trunk, to open it, and it started to open, and I started panicking again and crying, and my eyes were so puffy, and it was still light outside. So you know how when you cry, you get like that burning sensation when you look at light? That's exactly how I felt. I was legitimately getting ready to beg for my life because I did not want to go out like this. And to my surprise, I looked and it was my ex, and he was standing there, and we were still in like the same area, just like a little farther up, because I guess they moved the car a little farther up to scare me more. And my ex was standing there, and he looked annoyed, and he had that face like, I told you so. And I felt like a weight had lifted off my shoulders, and he like quickly helped me get out the car, and my friend was standing there trying not to laugh, and I was so pissed off at him. So he was trying to explain to me that because I had been ignoring him, and because I never listened to him about paying attention to my surroundings, he wanted to teach me a lesson. Then after he explained that to me, he knew I was upset, so he started trying to baby me. He was offering to go get me food. He wanted to take me somewhere. He was trying to get me not to be so mad. But I'm the type of person that once you piss me off, you're on my list. And I was very prone to punching people where the sun doesn't shine.
Madon! No, madon! Si Tom man na ng penis! Madon! No, madon!
So you can imagine what I did next, and he was not very happy. I broke up with him there, and I just dragged myself home. And when I got home, I had to explain to my mom why I came back looking like a hot mess, and that I had broken up with my boyfriend. Honestly, here's some advice. If your friend, girlfriend, sibling doesn't pay attention when they're walking around and you want to teach them a lesson, legitimately do anything else but pretend to kidnap them, because it's the worst experience, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. And if something had happened, or if something happens to a person that you do that to, you're responsible for it. Me and my ex had gotten back together like a week after, because me and him were that on and off again couple. But never do that. I hate him, and it's been almost 4 years, and I still remember it like it was yesterday.